Hi everybody. Unfortunately, I'm making this video to address some of the challenges that teachers and students are having to face because of COVID-19 in the spring of 2020. You'll see that I went to College Board. You can just Google AP World COVID-19 College Board. It'll bring you right to this link. And what they've decided to do coming out on April 2nd and now today, April 3rd, is kind of lay out the plans going forward. So if I scroll down here, I find information on AP World Modern. And AP World Modern's exam is on May 21st, and it's at 2 p.m. It is going to be an online exam for 45 minutes where you could either type in your response or handwrite your response and digitally upload. Your written response is one question. It is a DBQ question. They do know that it's open book, open note, open internet, open Google. And because they know that, they went with the DBQ. It tests your thinking processes, your writing skills, your analysis skills, and it's not necessarily something you could quickly just Google away, cut and paste. And I'm assuming that's where the fear of the SAQ or multiple choice was. Now, what they've done on this is kind of talked about the actual rubric and its grading. We're going to talk about that in just 1 second. So, eligible content is going to be units 1 through 6 of AP World Modern, which means the 20th century is, if you will, off limits. The DBQ they give you will have a prompt relative to units 1 through 6 ending in 1900. It will have 5 documents in it. And what I'd like to do now is go over the actual rubric. So here is the AP History Rubric. It's for World, US, and Euro. What I'm going to do is talk about certain things that are new and review some things that are old. So the new rubric is worth 10 points. The old one was worth 7 points. So I need to talk about those nuances. If I understood Trevor Packer right last night and the AP World Facebook page correctly, every essay will be read twice. That is different than most AP readings. So you're all going to face a 45-minute DBQ with 5 documents with a 10-point rubric that'll be graded by 2 different readers. A lot of differences going on compared to, how we've done it in the past. So I want to be quick. So thesis is the same, contextualization is the same. I'll be making new videos on both thesis and contextualization shortly. Now, the first new difference is evidence. It includes partial credit and it includes outside information extra credit, if you'll see. So I'll explain. So you have 5 documents that you're given. If you use the content to address the topic of the prompt, not necessarily the question clearly, but the topic of it, if you use 2 documents, you get a point. Now, if you use 2 documents to support an argument that is connected to the prompt, like a true thesis, a true topic sentence, a true argument, then you get 1 point. So you use to address 1 point, you use to support an argument, 1 point. Now, what if you use 4 documents to support an argument? That's yet another point. In short, for this evidence, you can use 4 documents successfully and earn 3 points. 1, 2, 3. That's different. I like the partial credit. Any student that I've ever worked with can use 2 documents and get the 1 point. So please have confidence because you can do that. Now, one thing they've done that's different is evidence beyond the documents. They've always awarded 1 point when you pull in evidence that's not in any of the 5 documents to support an argument. This year, they're allowing you to do that twice, each time getting 1 point. And now, I'm not going to lie. I've always told my students this is a very hard point to get, and don't be worried about it. However, it's a different year. Multiple choice isn't there. SAQs aren't there. So this is truly rewarding the students who know their stuff, who can quickly bring up outside evidence that they've learned, that they know, and infuse it in an argument. I like this, by the way. I think it's a little overwhelming on a 3-hour test, but on a 45-minute test, I'm hoping that most students can pull in 1 point there. I don't know if you want to prioritize those points, but they're there for those who are like, hey, but I learned something about this prompt, and none of the documents are talking about it. So that means at this point on page 1, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of a new rubric. Scrolling down. Now, you have to hip 2 documents. You get 1 point for each hip. So for one document, you choose to address the significance and the role of point of view. You get 1 point. You choose to do the significance and the importance of purpose in another document. You get another point. I love that partial credit. I've always found that hipping is hard, even for some of my strongest students. And now they're giving you partial credit for just doing it once, not necessarily holding you to have to do it twice. All right. Finally, the last one is the complexity point. This is for students who write with a higher level of complexity. My students often work on this one, where if the question is about change, they talk about continuity. If the question's about similarity, they talk about difference. So my students usually are taught to go for this point. I do know some students, their teachers really emphasize going with synthesis. I don't really necessarily see synthesis here in the older sense. Considering it diverse. There. Confirming the validity of argument, corroborating multiple perspectives across themes, SPICET, using different themes there. And here is your actual synthesis. A lot of people call this the unicorn point because they don't award a lot of that, and I don't know why this would be a different year. So I always tell my students, try to write 3 body paragraphs in a normal DBQ. What I'm saying this year is try to write at least 2 strong body paragraphs. Try to make sure that if the essay involves a change essay, that they try to infuse continuity into it in some degree. But you can't just mention synthesis, or you can't just mention continuity in a change essay and think you're going to get the point. It really comes down to also time. You have 45 minutes, and you want to make sure you get the other 9 points or the other 8 or 7 points. Sometimes you just can't get all 10 in 45 minutes. So today I wanted to go over kind of like the new rubric. Put your mind at ease in the sense that your teachers have been working with these skills all year. So now it's just like using these skills and getting awarded points differently than traditionally, but you're going to be fine. I hope the best for you. Expect upcoming videos about both content and other skills shortly. Take care.